Welcome, everyone, to the Aging and Spirituality podcast. I'm Kathy Lee Taylor,
And I'm Chris Jensen.
and we welcome you here. We're always happy to have our listeners back. And today we're going to be talking about, again, we're always focusing on unrealized potential and how to live our best life. And the subject I want us to talk about today sounds like it's a little tough, but in the end, you're going to learn something that will help you have an extraordinary life. I call it How to Overcome Pain's Secret to Live an
Oh,
Extraordinary Life. So,
wow.
with that introduction, what I want to say about pain is that pain has a purpose. And that's your first clue. Pain has a purpose in your life. Isn't that something like not
Yeah.
most people want to hear that, I
No.
imagine. So, but in almost every scenario, hindsight reveals that when pain enters your life equation, it forces you to look at what is not working and make a change. So right there, you can see where the opportunity is coming in. So let's take a closer look at what that might mean in your life. Um, Life has lots of pain. I mean, I think about, my past history, and it doesn't seem like it's funny, but it is full of growth. There's no doubt about that, full of opportunity. I can't deny that pain, both physical and emotional, often serves as a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call. Over time, I've learned that it calls you to reorganize your life into a higher order.
Mm.
Think about that. It's a opportunity for spiritual growth. I know
Mhm.
it's not easy to hear, but it really, really is. And you'll see what I'm talking about by the time we're done today. You're gonna know, you're gonna sense how it's really an invitation to change for the better. So let's talk a little bit about emotional pain and how it serves really some important purposes from an evolutionary and a psychological perspective. So emotional pain can be a signal, like physical pain. Emotional pain acts like an alert system, and it signals you that something is wrong and needs your attention. So, for example, we start crying because someone says something that hurts our feelings.
Mm.
So, upon examination, we realize that what really happening inside is that we've been holding in anger toward a person and who doesn't understand us, and it's really hard to connect with them. So our emotions are telling us to look at our responses to this person and find a way to return back to balance, which can mean letting go of what's no longer working, dealing with your emotions, having a release, having healing, all of those things. So signaling is one of the things that emotions can do. Another one is it's a motivator for change. It drives you to change your life, your relationships, and your behaviors so you can avoid future pain, not repeat the same mistakes over and over again. So, for example, we know we're in a bad relationship, but we can't bring ourselves to get out. We can't make that change. So, our emotions are going to keep reminding us that we aren't living our truth, and they won't stop until we relieve ourselves of the situation,
Oh.
some kind of resolution to it. It's going to keep coming back. We talk about this in yoga all the time. It's coming back to haunt you. You might as well deal with it the first time.
I know we don't want to take responsibility for it, but it is easier if we deal with it the first time.
It
Yeah.
is easier. And as you grow on the spiritual path, you realize that, and you don't waste a lot of time. At first, you dig in your heels and you can, stop yourself from that growth. But after a while, you start to realize growth is the bomb.
Mhm.
It's good. It's good. So, okay, so your emotions are all about learning and adapting. Emotional pain can help you learn from negative experiences and adapt your behavior accordingly. So, for example, someone that criticizes you for being too arrogant. I'm using my own example. Laughing. Upon reflection, we realize that they're right, and we have a chance to become more kind. And we're giggling because that is definitely the lesson that I've learned in this life. We have to take the steps to implement the change on how we respond to the world. So instead of being a know-it-all and having to be right and all of those things, we choose to let that go and we choose to be kind. And we don't have to be right. It doesn't matter. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter at all. So another example of emotional pain is something that actually bonds us on a social level. So it can strengthen social bonds and really elicit support from each other. That's what happens in communities all the time. So, for example, you're learning how to be a better friend to others and deeply listening, how that really impacts their lives. So, in that process, you're discovering, although humanity is one, our experience of the world is completely different. It is as individual as that person that you're talking to. We all experience it differently. So it's really important to do that kind of connecting and social bonding in your communities. Boy, the world could really use that right now. So you keep that in perspective when you're building those relationships in, community. And sometimes you have emotional pain because communicating is not easy and people aren't very good at it. But you just keep it in perspective. Okay, so emotional pain can be self-preservation as well. It can help us avoid potentially harmful situations or
Mm.
harmful relationships. So, for example, you see your friend going through a difficult time with their job or maybe someone in their family or a relationship of some kind, and maybe she's in an abusive relationship and she can't see her way out. And her pain is a signal to help her be brave and face the truth. Can be signaling her friends, those around her. So it is something that can help you survive in life. Pain is a messaging. So, and then just one last example I love is that emotional pain, this is the quintessential, it's personal growth. It's overcoming emotional pain will lead to becoming more resilient, having better self-understanding,
Mhm.
and really understanding how to develop yourself, that personal growth and personal development. Anybody who has gone through a divorce or a tough life experience like losing a loved one, they understand what this one means. Tough emotional journeys often lead to finding your courage and being able to discern what you really want from life, forces you to really look at who you are and what you want. So these become really critical junctures for most people, and they're all predicated with this emotional pain. So it's important that we learn how to deal with it so that we use it as a tool to further our lives, not get stuck, you know?
Yeah, and getting stuck, you just sit there and you just have more and more of that pain.
That's a good point. If you get stuck in the emotional pain, you're gonna create
Yeah.
more pain, more suffering, more drama.
Mm.
And the whole point of this talk is to understand how to let it go and not have any of that going on in your life. Can you imagine that?
Mm.
Not having any drama and suffering in your life. Highly recommended.
Mm.
So, as we were saying, most people like to avoid pain. Ugh, it's natural. We all do it. You know, stubborn people will try everything not to do tough things and to avoid feeling pain. I'm talking about me. Stubborn as the day is long. But consider this, sometimes your life is trying to fall apart so it can create something new for you.
Yes,
That's one that Chris has had to tell me, I don't know how many times over the last few
I
months.
know. I know.
She keeps reminding me the same thing. I'm like, okay, I get it, I get
Yeah.
it.
Well, the thing is, down the road, the new thing, you realize, oh, this is great, but at the time, it doesn't feel good.
You feel like you're in a boat that's sinking fast
Yeah, right,
and the shark is about to eat you.
right. Hmm.
Very difficult process for most
Right.
people. So yeah,
Yeah.
especially people who love to control the situation.
Yes, right.
I mean,
Like
and I'm
most
one
of
of
us.
those. That's me. That's me. I'm one of those too. I love to be in control, and that's just my fear speaking. So really, and then Chris and I have been talking, I think, about surrender for 40 years. It was one of my
Mhm.
beginning lessons and something I'm still refining. So for this one, learning surrender is a key yoga skill that helps you on the spiritual path. Some of us feel pain if we aren't progressing fast enough.
Mm.
I'm talking about you, overachievers. Again, me. We're constantly trying to collapse timelines and get to the finish line before we have a heart attack, you know? Like we got to get it all
Right.
in.
Okay.
Oh my
It's like
gosh.
racing to the red light, you know? Right.
You're racing to the red light so you can stop. But unfortunately, we're not looking at the bigger picture when we're doing that kind of stuff. People really suffer because they don't know their true gifts and they can't receive them. So there's no shortage of reasons to experience pain on planet Earth. But here's the thing: the key is to stop suffering, like we said, end the pain, which
Mhm.
it sounds simple. The word sounds simple, right? But why do we struggle so much with this? You know, like what if you asked yourself the simple question, are you ready? Are you ready to let go of drama and suffering in your life right now? Because we can tell you how. You can listen to this recording over and over again until you get it.
Mhm.
So here's the question you want to ask yourself when you're really in emotional pain and suffering. What is your soul trying to tell you? What is your soul trying to tell you? That's tough when you first start paying attention inside. I'm not going to deny that. But it is where you need to go and you need to get good at it and you need to really deeply listen to yourself from the inside out so you can start hearing those messages. You know, Chris has given the example of doing the transmitter exercise many times where you send the question out from your third eye and you receive the answer in your heart. This is a great one for what we're talking about here.
Mhm.
Practice that. That's one tool you can take away and practice and use, and it will do what we're talking about. It will give you what you need, that closer connection to soul, so you can start understanding how those messages come through to you, from you. It sounds weird, I know, but that is how it works. You can really begin to transmute pain by connecting your inner self and asking for the wisdom to release the pain. Think about that. Wouldn't that be a great thing to be able to do? Soul, I'm done with this stuff. Like I want to let go of all this pain and suffering. Show me how to release it. Yes, please. I
Mhm.
want that relationship with my soul, you know? I want to get those kinds of answers. And this kind of thing can happen through meditation. I mean, we keep saying that and we will keep saying that, so keep coming back to hear it. Or it can look like things like self-talk and journaling and even breath work is with a part of your body that is expressing pain can be really powerful in revealing messages that you need to hear. Connecting from the inside out is the point that we're trying to make here. So how you
Yeah,
make that
that
connection up to you.
that's the thing that's going to change and ultimately take the pain away.
And take the emotional pain away. Again, would you like to live drama free with no suffering?
Oh, yes.
That's really what we're talking about. We're talking about that all the time in case you don't know, but today we're talking about it like head on.
Mhm.
So think about these questions. These are kind of critical questions, and maybe they'll stimulate something for you in terms of being able to grow from this moment on. What is the vision for your life? Do you really have clarity about what your purpose is in life? What is your why? The reason that you do anything. What is your why? The reason that you do anything. Think about that. That's
Mhm.
not an easy one to answer.
No, it's
Write
not.
that down. What is my why for the reason that I do anything? I recently had somebody ask me that question. I was like, I should know the answer to that, shouldn't I? And it confused me. I was like, what is a why? What is a why? You know? And what it came down to for me was because of my near-death experience, my why was feeling compelled to share that connection, feeling
Mhm.
compelled to share that experience was really why I do everything that I do after that period in my life.
Mhm.
So I thought it was an interesting way to frame it versus thinking about purpose, because all of a sudden, when you think about purpose, you start getting in your head and you're like, yeah, sure, my purpose is this and this and this, because I'm good at this and I can do that. And surely God's calling me to be this. You know, when you think about it from a why point of view, you really point to find out what it is that's motivating and propelling you. And those things will probably change and evolve in your life, but it's really, really a powerful question to ask. So again, if you are experiencing pain, it's because there is a gap between where you are I call it point A. In marketing, they call it point A, by the way, in case you don't know. A gap between where you are and where you want to be, point B.
Mm.
It's the expectation. The trick is to let go of that expectation and let your soul guide you. I think Chris has actually done a whole topic on this one.
Mm.
Let go of the expectations that you have of where you're supposed to be and let your soul guide you. You will
Just
struggle a lot less,
accept yourself where you are.
except where
And
you
that's
are
the way you can grow from there.
with your soul's guidance, you know? Yeah, absolutely. So if you're struggling and you want, say, let's say you want to be in a relationship with somebody and, or maybe you're in a relationship with somebody, but it isn't the one that you want, or, you know, you want to go into business, but you don't really want a business. You just want to have some money.
Mhm.
or or you feel scarcity or abundance. These are all painful gaps when you're in one place and want to be in the other place. Those are all painful because of the expectations that they come with. So when you allow your soul to show you the way, your why becomes very clear. You stop struggling with the gaps. Stop struggling with the gaps, trying to fix them, trying to do something to make them work, of where you are and where you want to be. Just tune in and let your soul guide you to the next
Mhm.
place, the next step, the next thing that you need to do. So the thing about staying in suffering and drama is that you miss the experience of magical moments. You
Mm.
miss the experience of being in the moment that can be magical. And I mean, being present in the
Yeah.
moment is all I'm talking about. And it's impossible to be present in the moment if you are focusing on pain, right? And
Hmm.
you're missing out on life's possibilities so much that there are possibilities that are waiting inside you to be fulfilled. They've been created just for you. They're unique. You are unique. So don't waste them being in emotional pain. Use pain as a way to grow. That's the secret. That's the key to living an extraordinary life. Recognize what the pain is and what its purpose is in your life and answer that call from your soul. Seize the opportunity. There are so many blessings waiting for you on the other side of it to really living that fullest potential. You're living your potential when you're experiencing things like really inner peace, joy, enhanced intuition and clarity,
Yeah.
increased vibrational energy, and that aligns you with your potential. You're learning how to play in the universe and be a co-creator. Your character develops in a more compassionate and loving and kind human being, so your relationships improve. Your energy gets uplifted and you are able to inspire the people around you. You're absolutely empowered to overcome difficult challenges. Dealing with your emotional pain will seem like a little thing, a little tiny blip, and you can learn to do things like transmuting negative energy into positive energy. I mean, if you did nothing else in the world, it will make a difference being here by doing that, transmuting energy into something really, really positive. We need that on the planet right now for sure. All right. So
Yeah.
you're ready, you know
Well,
how to do this, right?
right.
Go, what were you gonna say?
Well, we're going to have pain no matter what. So why
Yes.
stay stuck in it?
Yeah.
When you can transform it into something beautiful, like she was just saying,
Yep.
that inner peace and joy, and you can overcome anything.
You can
Mm.
use it as a trigger to go into meditation or be mindful or
Right.
use positive affirmations or practice gratitude and express
Hmm.
your creative self. All those things can be a response to emotional pain. And when you learn to let go of it, there's no need to hold on to it. It's not teaching you it. Well, once you know why it's there and you know the lesson, then you can
Hmm.
move. So really, that is the key point of today. I can't think of a more extraordinary life than being pain-free. Isn't everybody looking for freedom? This is a good part of the
You
way.
bet. You
It
bet.
is. Okay. Don't be
Bet.
afraid of your pain. Deal with it.
Lean
See you next
into
week.
it. It'll get better.
See you next
We
week.
know we've been there.
Yeah, we have been there for sure.
Bye.
Bye.